Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna. I was actually fortunate enough to be born into Krishna consciousness. My parents, Mother Mitravinda and Vaishnavi Prabhu, they are from Australia, and they raised me on New Govardhan Farm, which was quite an amazing experience growing up there. There was just so much land for us to run and play on, and just the temple is amazing there. They grow all their own flowers, and the garland making was always such a favorite experience for me growing up, and just beautiful, beautiful deities. I feel so blessed to be raised there. I got married when I was 16 years old. Pretty young, but I definitely feel very blessed that I had that experience, and I think I managed to save myself a lot of trouble out in the world, which I'm very thankful for. And very shortly after I got married, my husband took the position of being temple president in our Laguna Beach ISKCON temple in America. And that was very challenging at first, a lot of service. I took over the kitchen service, which was very, very intense. And we would cook for hundreds of people for Sunday feasts and big festivals. And it was very, very challenging, but very sweet at the same time. Definitely some of the best times of my whole life. 5 children. The oldest is 11, and the youngest is 3.5. And we have 4 boys and 1 girl, and the girl's right in the middle. And it's, I'm very thankful that I at least got 1 girl, because it's definitely an amazing experience having a daughter. My oldest boy, he is amazing. He's very good at kirtan and bhajans, and he just loves it. He'll practice for hours and hours every day. He plays mridanga, and he leads a lot of the kirtans in Laguna Beach, which is very, as a mother, it's just very sweet to see your children growing up and being able to do a lot of the services by themselves. And my second child, Shekhar, he is wonderful too. They're all so different in different ways. Shekhar is a complete whiz. He's very intelligent, very smart. He's just really good at math, and it's always a bit of a struggle with the 2 kids, who's smarter and who, and they're always fighting about who's better at this and better at that. So I'm glad that Shekhar.
Krishna is God.
Why do you worship Krishna?
Because he's God.
From where you learn that he is God? How you know Krishna, that he is God?
I go to the temple, my parents are devotees. It's just, he's the God I worship.
Do you like to worship Krishna?
Yes.
Why we should be vegetarians?
Because animals also have souls, and if you eat an animal, it's basically like eating a human.
Why we chant the holy names?
Because chanting the holy name is chanting the name of Krishna and Radharani. So chanting the name of the male and female version of the God. And so if you chant Hare Krishna, you're basically saying the name of God. And if you say the name of God, you'll go back to the spiritual world.
He has his qualities that he excels in as well. And then my daughter Sharadiya, she is wonderful. She is very fashionable. She's very, she really, really is concerned about what she wears and how she looks. Just typical girl, which is quite interesting considering she's growing up with so many boys. She will wake me up at Mangal Arati time and tell me all about what she's going to wear and how she's going to do her hair and this and that. Drives me a little crazy, but she's very sweet.
I wake up normally at 8, and then we go to Guru Puja, then we eat breakfast, then we do school, then we have to clean up. Then I have to do my homework. I play with my brothers, and then sometimes I do coloring, and then sometimes I make garlands, and then we eat dinner, and then we go home and go to sleep.
Okay, what do you do to help your mom at the house? with the house?
I help my mom with cleaning up, cooking, help my mom with organizing the gopi skirts,
Yeah.
my mom with mopping down the floors,
You have to stand so you can hear the
help my mom watching the younger kids.
How many rounds you chant?
In America, when I go to Mongolia, I normally chant like 5
Why you worship Krishna?
because Krishna is God.
And then I have Kavi, he's the next one. He is just a fireball. He is ridiculously active. He does, one-handed cartwheels, and he can do flips and all kinds of things. He's just incredibly, incredibly active. Such a little energy, just so much energy.
Hare Krishna, my name is Kavi.
Who is Krishna? Can you tell us?
God,
Where do you learn that Krishna is God?
my dad.
And how you worship Krishna?
By chanting Japa and singing Kirtan.
How many rounds you chant?
Well, I used to chant like 2 or 3. Now I chant like 1.
Why we are vegetarians?
Because if you kill animals, it's like killing a real human.
Okay. Do you like vegetarian food?
What?
Do you like vegetarian food?
Yeah.
Which prasadam you like most?
Like skulas and sandas.
Wow. And what your mother cooks for you?
Nachos, wraps,
What you want to become in the future?
a
When you grow up?
brahmachari,
Huh?
a brahmachari.
And then I have my baby, Rasik. He's 3.5, and he is very sweet. He's just such a little mama's boy. He loves me so much, and he is just will talk your ear off and just go on and on and on about everything. He's really, really a far out little kid. I think the biggest challenge about being a mother is that your time for yourself is pretty much out the window. Your life is just about the kids, and taking care of your own spiritual life is very difficult because, as an example, this morning I was trying to chant my japa, and I have one kid on this side and one kid on this side, both just trying to talk to me the whole time, and you don't get that nourishment for yourself. I am having some quiet time to chant my japa right now. There's always somebody in your ear. There's always somebody trying to talk to you, always somebody fighting. It's just non-stop, constant. You start to go a little crazy after a while. It's very, very intense. But then the reward is that you have these beautiful children that you're raising, and they have so many wonderful, amazing qualities, so much of their own karma they're bringing into this world, and they're just such blessings. And as they get older, you just realize, now I have 5 amazing, beautiful friends. They play with each other, they take care of each other, and it does get easier as time goes on. So the baby years are very, very hard, but as they grow up, it gets a lot easier. They start to take care of each other more. You can lead them, they can do things by themselves. It's not so one-on-one intense, but it's a challenge. It's a constant challenge. Because I'm a mother, I needed something for myself that was my own project and my own creative outlet, I guess you would say. And so quite some years ago, I started my own small business, which all the profits go to our temple in Laguna, so it's not really my own business, but it is, I do all the work myself, and I it's all just my own project, I guess you could say. But I started I call it online and my website, Gopi Skirts by Radhika. And so that is, it kind of took off, I guess, in some way, and it became really popular. It all started just by myself making my own clothes. I stopped wearing silk, cruelty reasons. I didn't want to contribute to the silk industry anymore. I did some research, and I think it takes something like 16,000 worms or something to make one sari, and they boiled them alive, and I just didn't feel good about it. And so I started wearing cotton, and then I would have a very difficult time with my children wearing cotton saris and staying presentable for long periods of time. And so I started making skirts and having skirts made, and everybody around me would be like, where did you get this? And ask me questions. So I started a small business, and it's a way for me to let my creative outlet out. I grew up, my mother was a very creative person. She used to always sew my dancing costumes, so I was always around fabrics and designing and this and that. I have no training in designing. I never went to school for that, and I have no training in marketing or anything like that, but just, I guess Krishna just somehow blessed that it would take off and I would have this service to do. So that's my personal creative outlet. That's what I do for, I guess you could say a job. It gets difficult with the kids. It usually ends up the kids playing in the backyard, and I'll bring out my sewing machines and work with them while they're all trying to jump on me and be crazy, but it works somehow. It somehow works out, and it's definitely not a corporate kind of situation. It's just me and my kids working together. And I think one of the question was how do I keep in shape and exercise or this and that, and so I think running around after the kids is definitely my biggest exercise, but I also try to do, I like to do CrossFit, which is, it's cardio and weights mixed together, and so it pretty much just looks like you're jumping around for half an hour of your life, but you do, different squats and push-ups, and you have weights and you lift them in the air and just different things like that, and so that's my exercise program. And then I always just try to dance as much as I can in kirtan, and that, I think that's a pretty good cardio exercise. My diet, what do I eat? I pretty much just eat temple. We eat a lot of temple prasad, and then when we cook pretty healthy. We eat mostly organic food. We have a great supermarket downtown in Laguna that is all natural and organic. I really try not to eat any white flours or white sugars, and so that's a principle that we have in our family, definitely. And my biggest weakness is sweets. I really like eating sweets, so just limiting myself from that is good. But yeah, otherwise just regular rice, dal, sabji, mostly Indian prasad. I try to, the biggest thing is trying to eat small quantities, more times a day, but smaller quantities is definitely the best, but it's not that easy to follow. Definitely one of my biggest challenges in life is keeping the house clean. My husband is a very clean person. He likes everything neat and orderly. Having the kids keep their things clean is definitely our biggest challenge, which I think most mothers have that challenge too. So I yell and scream and try to get the kids to clean up as much as I can, and then when that's all over, I just end up cleaning up everything myself. Whenever their dad comes on the scene, it's very helpful because they listen to him very well, and he'll tell them clean up, and they'll just clean up very well. Laundry is always a struggle because there's so many of them, so many clothes to keep up on. They only wear their clothes once. We're very, I have actually 2 washing machines and 2 dryers, and still have a very difficult time keeping up on the laundry. I get a lot of help with cooking and grocery shopping, being at the temple, which is great. And there's a lot of help with watching the kids too. There's a lot of friends there, and so they'll watch the kids while I try to do some things. But it's a struggle. It's always a struggle to keep things clean. I guess our daily routine would be we all wake up, I send all the kids to Guru Puja, and then I stay home and do the I clean all the floors, I change all the beds, and I do all the the house kind of daily chores then. And then the kids play outside, then we go outside. Keeping our backyard clean is the biggest challenge because that's where the kids play all day, and there's always lots of fun with mud, dirt throwing, and they get out every single toy they possibly can, and just cleaning that up gets very difficult. They're also really lazy at putting their things in the trash, so there's just candy wrappers and whatever they want just lays all over the floor till I start screaming again to clean it all up, right? We try, it's a struggle, but one point in the day, if I can have it completely clean, then I'm happy. Then the rest of the day, if it gets a mess again, constant cleanups, like every half hour, an hour or so, I have them all clean everything up again, and just try to at least keep on top of it, because with so many kids, they each get out 10 things, that's 50 things you have lying around, and they'll never put it away themselves until you tell them, hey, put your stuff away. So, I'm thankful for my husband, because if he wasn't around, things would definitely be a lot more messy, because he's always pushing me, keep things clean, and it brings a little bit of order into our lives, because it's easy to just let it all go.
What about the education of your children?
We homeschool. When they were little, when the two older boys were little, I used to teach them. And as they got older, that became very difficult. They start to not listen very well. We hire tutors. We have 2 tutors. One does the older kids, the older 2 boys, and then one does the younger 3 kids. And so that works out really nicely, because we didn't want to send them to regular school, and there's no Gurukul where we live. The tutoring it helps us keep them out of public schools and give them a Krishna conscious education, and at the same time give them their academics that they need.
How do you manage your time for japa and reading?
Your own spiritual life is definitely, I think, the hardest thing as a mother. Clickers help with japa, because you end up losing track of where you're at most of the time. And so I found, although it's obviously not the best, it's best to chant on Tulsi beads. Using a clicker as a mother definitely helps, because you can chant a little bit, be interrupted, and then get back to it. It's not that you lose your place and then you have to start all over again. But it's definitely frustrating. Waking up early is definitely the best, but at the same time, I have found I usually end up going to sleep very, very late, because I want a little bit of time without my kids at night, and so then waking up early is very difficult. Reading, I can't even remember the last time I read, honestly. It's just, little pieces here and there. Also going to class, I don't think I've been to a Bhagavatam class in a very long time. I always try, and then the kids make noise and I have to leave and end up taking care of the kids. It's definitely the biggest struggle, nourishing yourself, I would say, as being a mother, nourishing your own spiritual life. And so coming to India is definitely really refreshing, because it revitalizes me and gives me some just nourishment, some spiritual nourishment that I feel that I miss a lot. And even though I have the kids with me, still just being in the different temples and the different dhams is it's just very enthusiastic to see so many people doing Krishna consciousness in so many different places. And it's an amazing experience. It's very important for women to be good wives and mothers. I know it sounds a little bit archaic and old-fashioned, but I think that it's something that's really missing in the world. And I'm okay being in my husband's shadow, letting him shine, and taking care of the kids and cooking dinners and doing the household chores. I'm okay with that. I know that it's a lot of women these days, they feel that they need something more. And I guess in a way, I started my business just to give me a little something that I do extra. I think that there's a real joy in being a wife and being a mother. It's definitely very satisfying. And obviously, I fall short very often in my household duties and my motherly duties, but you just try, and you just pick yourself back up, and you don't give yourself such a hard time. I think that it's a really important, I think that women definitely have a lot more power and control than they think they have. I think that, behind every amazing man, there's a wonderful woman who's doing all the back end stuff. I'm definitely really happy. I don't have any problems or regrets. I'm very satisfied. I love my husband very much, and I love my children very much, and with all the struggles that come with it, there's a lot of satisfaction too.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rashi, can you tell who is Krishna?
Who is Krishna?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare